Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for today's Trade the Chain episode. I'm joined alongside myself with Trade the Chain's Director of Research, Nick Mancini, and Doug, the everyday guy, DeRosa. I have some construction going on around the house, so I apologize if there's any weird sounds and noise. But today is wow, it's like a butt whooping day, man. Huge pump in the crypto markets for what happened with CPI data report coming out at 8:30 this morning. I mean, just in the last 24 hours, the crypto total market cap has gone up 4.5% almost. So let's hit that real quick, see what's happening. Here we got total market cap up $1.14 trillion, up 4.43%. Big wallop off the mooning this morning with the CPI data coming in better than expected, which Nick will get to in a few moments here. We have Bitcoin price, which was above 24,000 for a period of time here, 23,920, up 3.68%. Just slightly bullish neutral sentiment, 53 over 100. Ethereum jumping up over $1,800 really quickly this morning. 1833 is where we're settling in right now, up 8.37%, and nearly even neutral sentiment, 49 over 100 for the daily. Twitter hotspots, we got Polkastarter, ticker POLS, up just about 6% with a 528% increase on tweets. Spell token coming in second. Chili's, one of Doug DeRosa's favorite coins. He loves the 2-for-1 beers at that place. 5.5%. Of course, I'm not talking about the restaurant, folks. That was just a bad joke. MFT, High Five Finance, 315% increase, 50% price increase. And for those going, well, what is MFT? MFT is a DeFi lender. So here you go. You have their ecosystem, which has a bunch of, well, Sabler, that is very well known. But it is a DeFi lender, up 50.5%, which makes it the leader on the price gainers for the last 24 hours, followed by our RLC and Troy. Most bullish coins by daily sentiment, Polkastarter, INJ, Algo, MFT again, and Chili's. Most bearish, DAI, CHR, HBAR coming in third on that, and Curve coming in fifth on the most bearish coins for daily sentiment. And that is probably most likely, and if you didn't hear, Curve's domain DNS was hijacked yesterday, later in the day, and was driving customers to log into a fake website. I believe there was just over $500,000 stolen from what basically was a spoofing scam, but initially thought of as a protocol compromise. It was not a DNS compromise. Here we go, looking over the 1 hour price charts here. Everything is been steady for the last couple of hours since we had that huge uptick. Nothing really notable to talk about, but I wanted to go over here and show you what happened to Bitcoin today. Early morning, pre-market hours, right around 6 o'clock, sentiment started spiking very heavily on the precursor announcement of CPI data. And as you could see, by the time CPI data was released at 8:30, it looks like everybody was already of a positive tone, shot up through the roof. Really bullish move, and that kind of trickled its way through the market. So that is what that is. We got a bunch of little news to talk about after, but right now we are going to let Nick hit the charts. How you doing, Nick?
Been better.
All right.
But I'm trying to figure out, I lost my chart here. I have them back. So seeing some interesting stuff right now, seeing strength on the S&P 500, seeing a little weakness on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So very interesting after they were very correlated this morning. Dollars obviously, got hit pretty hard. But, after this type of move, it's very rare that we just continue immediately with the current trajectory, meaning it's more likely than not that we consolidate and test various support levels. Yesterday 23.7 was was kind of more or less a special number, and you can see that even the first 15-minute candle after the news broke kind of hovered around this POC area. So I would expect this to see some volatility around it. Obviously, Bollinger Bands are very tight on the short-term time frame. So, expecting some volatility. It's like it wants to push slightly to the downside. But with the S&P 500 still showing, or still trying to push above 4,200, I don't expect too much downside, but really the magic number for the continuation of risk is really where we're at right now. As you can see here, this that 4,200, 4,180 kind of range has been very much strong resistance. We still have quite a few hours to go until this daily closes, but it is a strong candle right now. It just makes more sense that we obviously see some consolidation, probably for the rest of the U.S. session, heading into tomorrow as we wait for PPI. And PPI is expected to be, I don't know why this always refreshes, but PPI is expected to be pretty solid. 1.1% was the previous print, and it's expected to be 0.2. So that would be a pretty large come down for PPI after CPI, which could be a catalyst to head higher into tomorrow. And we may basically see, more or less the opposite of what we saw yesterday, which was, we had the big move, then we basically sat in this range the whole time, some volatility after hours, and then cranking into today's session. So I'm not, I know some people want to prep shorts here as ETH is above 1,800 and Bitcoin is still underneath, its target. I kind of drew this range actually for our daily show, but it's very interesting that S&P is pretty much, at breakout, and at a breakout area. ETH is at a breakout area. Bitcoin is not. So I think that's just, it's very odd actually in terms of risk. And it there might be a narrative here where Bitcoin is, truly less in vogue than ETH just due to it being, acting very much like a gold without a dividend, without APR, without all of the other fun stuff that comes with it, whereas ETH does. So we did have the bearish engulfing that was followed by now potentially a bullish engulfing. It would be very weird for us to see, a domino effect here with red, green, red, green, red, green. It does seem more likely, given, where we're at in the range that we would try to push higher. But the fact that we haven't, and the S&P has not pushed above 4,200 and 420 on SPY, definitely a reason to give the bears, a reason to still, be out to play. So very tough area to long or short. If you missed the prior move, I personally would not be making a move. You can see what happened last time we reached this RSI level with a very similar formation for S&P 500 is we literally sat there for 2 days before extreme volatility and not even moving out of the range. What is that? 5 days later. So it's I wouldn't expect continued volatility in either direction in the immediate future. I would wait for this to kind of push, flush out, trade your 1 minute scalps in the range, and then wait till, Bollinger Bands on maybe a larger time frame start to tighten and give way into more volatility. As you can see here, when we're wide, on the Bollinger Bands, that's when, we start to see some consolidation. And then when we tighten, that's when a big move, occurs. And so, you can see the tightening here, big move, wait for it to tighten, then we have a big move. So I would wait to see how this ends up reacting to, some of the core metrics. There's no reason to make plays now, if you miss the first move. But clearly, there is, as Josh said on the AMA, there is a lot more reason, I think, to be bullish than bearish, given a positive, CPI, meaning that, month over month, we're not moving higher in terms of inflation. We're staying flat. And so flat inflation likely means flat federal funds rate, which likely means market bottom. But obviously these are just, it's just two numbers in a row. Gas came down, rent's still high. I've been saying it. And this winter may be interesting in terms of energy, especially with the drought right now in the summer and having to feed the globe for the next 6 to 12 months coming up. So anybody's guess is as good as mine. I think my outlook has been my crystal ball has been less accurate than it was before, but we still have to contend with the data that we're given. Data today was positive, trade was positive. Tomorrow's data should probably be positive. So, there's reason to believe that there may be another positive looking trade tomorrow after some consolidation.
Alex, you're on mute.
Thank you for that, Nick. I apologize for being on mute. I think, all right. I want to head over to some news and real quickly, and then kind of wrap it up with Doug talking about our inflationary numbers that did come out today. But real quickly, here we go. We have CoinFlex came out, and CoinFlex is a crypto exchange that cut off withdrawals and deposits for customers a few weeks ago, citing what was originally a $43 million or $48 million shortfall from one particular customer. They did realign that with 84 million as the number, and it's purported by them that it's Bitcoin Cash creator Roger Ver, but we, obviously that's I don't know for sure. But it looks like the crypto exchange has gone into a formal restructuring proposal in the Seychelles, where they are based. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, obviously we have the Voyager one, which is, going on to its third court date later in the month, with positive news on USD withdrawals now being allowed starting tomorrow, actually. And I predict that'll be a frenzy, right, Doug?
Yeah, that'll be good for at least for confidence in the system, right? So I think at least people will say, all righty, this gives us a nice
agreed,
nice glimmer of hope.
Yeah. So yeah, another restructuring exchange. Here we have Near Protocol. So Near got listed on Coinbase, and the token jumped 12%. So Near is now on Coinbase, and since Coinbase has attracted a lot of these restructuring and or failed CeFi platforms in regards with customers, that's good for those folks. Near is a very popular protocol. Love to see the Coinbase bounce happen. That's what happens. That's part of Trade the Chain's magic, is being able to alert our members to those bounces on or before when they happen. So excited to see Near get listed there. Another thing that came out today, which is interesting, Ripple Labs interested in bankrupt crypto lender Celsius, or at least their assets. Not really sure how deep this goes as far as acquiring the company or just buying the assets. If it's just buying the assets, it's literally the only assets that will be bought will be, I guess, whatever crypto that they own, for market price. So not sure how how really serious this offer is. I don't know what Ripple Labs necessarily would do with the defunct lending group. I mean, any ideas on your end, Doug? And by the way, for all those that don't know, I'm blowing Doug up right now. His first foray into crypto was the big Ripple trade of 2017.
You had to mention that, seriously? God. Hey, I was on that trade. It went from 28 cents to 320. I
told you to sell it all.
Yeah, I just round tripped it. That's all. But that's okay. Yeah.
He still holds it.
The action in the sell token is just fascinating. I mean, what was that a month or two ago? Was that down to like 20 cents or something? Where was that for a low? Because it hit 231 or something.
Well, I mean, listen, they're embroiled in a lawsuit, a huge lawsuit that's been going on for quite some time now, the Securities and Exchange Commission. And now they're coming out with this, they're interested in Celsius. I mean, I don't think they really have any business in it. If anything, Ripple Labs, I think, is just after just buying the crypto off them, which I don't even know why that would make a difference. They go buy their own.
They're just doing it for headlines, I'm sure. They're the kings of literally just saying nonsense to stay relevant.
The XRP army's coming after Nick later tonight.
They probably will.
Moving on. Speaking of Celsius, we have this coming out all over the place. Celsius CEO Mashinsky sold Cell tokens during the recent surge. Now, I've seen this disputed a few times, but only on Twitter, which means it doesn't really count. But the thing is I did look at the wallet that they're proposing this came from, and the wallet does have a lot of heavy sell movements, more than the average bear would ever have in a wallet. And during the springtime was selling about $20,000 a day of sell. So it is a little suspicious. But it did make a couple transactions after the bankruptcy declaration, which was around like $38,000 or $40,000. But to be honest, guys, I wouldn't be surprised. Is anybody surprised if Alex Mashinsky was selling Cell tokens while pumping it every day? No.
I mean, that's what every CEO of every company has done ever.
Yeah. Not every single one, Nick. Let's, jeez.
Well, what CEO isn't bullish on their stock, and what CEO isn't selling at all-time highs?
Well, I think because the problem, what the biggest problem with this, I agree with you, by the way. But what I'm saying is the biggest problem with this isn't being bullish on your stock and or crypto or whatever and selling it, because listen, after a certain amount of time of building something to success, you have every right to do so. I mean, Elon Musk just did it for $6.5 billion of Tesla stock. What do you?
I think he's done 14 billion this in one quarter.
Yeah,
this is being able to take advantage of selling it when other people can't because they're going.
That's where I'm going with this.
Right.
So you look at Elon Musk. The guy has slept on the factory floor for like 7 years. Okay, he has produced cars at a numbers rate that was inconceivable. The dude deserves liquidity in his own company. That's why he created it. This story, to Doug's point, is what we've all heard over the last couple months is Celsius pumping their own token and selling it at the same time. And when that happened, that doesn't happen in crypto. That happens every freaking day. And most of the time it's called a rug pull. But the reason this is so disparaging is because this was like a financial institution crypto, this wasn't.
Well, the next point.
The sells happened while people's money was locked on Celsius. Is that what happened?
So two things. Yes, it happened after the bankruptcy, where withdrawals and trading and everything were stopped. Okay. There was 2 transactions that happened out of what was labeled as Alex Mashinsky's wallet. But prior to that, people put matched up cells. This token has the same name as Cell. They matched up the sale of Cell tokens to tweets pumping it. So again, that's nefarious. You know what I mean? In its own right.
But to Nick's point, like Ehrlich took a flack of selling Voyager at all-time high. Every CEO, like Nick says, does that. I mean,
yeah, again, I was going to bring that up. I'm like, I would be shocked if within whatever time frames we're talking for Alex Mashinsky in this case, like Steve, there was just a report yesterday. Steve sold like $31 million.
Yeah, but that was last year.
Cryptocurrency stock. Like if he wasn't tweeting around that, like, hey, we're doing so well, we're doing this, we're doing that. Like I'd be shocked. Like it's typical. For him to sell after withdrawals were halted. If it was out of a Celsius wallet, that's super effed up. If he was smart enough to have it in a decentralized wallet, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't knock someone if it wasn't illegal. Like I have a hard time yelling at anybody for this because we work in a market where morals and are we're making money here. As long as your buy and sell is executed in a legal manner, I can't get mad at someone for following the rules of the game. That's what I did. I can't yell at somebody for doing something that's not illegal. Although I will say that it is messed up to do so. I find it hard to yell at someone for doing something not illegal.
I don't know. I have a problem being somebody being in bankruptcy and selling tokens.
Or other people can't sell because their stuff's locked.
Yeah, I don't care about the legality of that. I mean, that's just the moral turpitude of somebody that everybody followed. So, that being said, I see Patrick Mannering, he 70% on his sell trade. I do have the chart up here. Look at that. It has exploded with the hashtag sell short squeeze. I mean, obviously, this is a pure gambling play, but it's paid off for a lot of people. And Sell Token has gone up astronomically, where people wish they had this performance in the bull market. But it is a gamble. Congratulations on making 70% on the sell trade. That's awesome. I hope everybody makes money all the time. Vasek, will we be covering the Voyager Town Hall live? I don't know. That's definitely in the cards. And it's positive. It's kind of positive. So I'm kind of looking forward to really following that, as opposed to the sell stuff, which is a dumpster fire. But yeah, crazy times, man. I don't know. Good question in the chats as well. I'm going to direct this to you, Nick. Phoenix, or where is it?
The why the stall question?
Yes, thank you very much. That's from Patrick.
Yeah, so as I mentioned like a bit earlier, I mean, I didn't really dig into this, but resistance is resistance for a reason. Unless you're continually knocking on it, like right now we're at resistance for Bitcoin. You can see the white line. Now, like I said, like 23.7 was POC support, which POC is a point of control, which signifies a lot of turnover in one area and or a lot of interest. So we're bouncing right above 23.7, which also happens to coincide with this 100-day moving average on the 5 minutes. There's a lot of confluence of supports within this range. So basically 24.2 to 23.7 is the new range. You never, ever, 99% of the time, you're never going to slice straight through support. 99% of the time, you're never going to slice straight through resistance. Clearly, we had one of those 1% times when the 3AC debacle happened, because there was a lot of forced liquidations, forced selling. That rarely happens unless there is a black swan event. So that's why I say the 99%. So what you're seeing now is, just think about market psychology. You're a market maker with billions at your disposal. That a lot of people who are not expert traders are going to trade off of green candles in a bullish fashion, as opposed to placing their bets when there's red candles, as you should do. So they're going to goad you into thinking that things are more bullish than they are, because it's not a true slice through resistance event. I mean, the price rose $1,000 on Bitcoin. It was a 3-4% move. That's a strong move intraday for any asset. So the goal is to trick you at support so that you get long, and then remove that, your euphoria, screw you over, take your money, and then scare you out of the market. And that's just basically what happens at resistance as well as at support. So what we've said, is either, since that range broke down at 23.9, the next sensible support area would be 23.7. If 23.7 lasts, we'd expect it to head back up to 24.2. We'd probably expect that to test again, maybe fall back down to 24 flat, and then head back higher. That would be a really good kind of bullish formation. Typically, it takes 2 to 4 taps to actually bust through. As you can see, I'll zoom out to the daily, look how many taps Bitcoin has had at this support. So typically, if it starts failing 3 to 4 times, then it will likely roll over, because obviously enough tests have occurred to where it did not come to fruition. So then market participants will start selling. You can think of the psychology from that perspective as well. Hey, this keeps failing time and time again. Maybe I should ditch the trade and go the opposite direction. So the basic sense of what would happen next is either we hold this support level, or we head back down to this support level, and then we retest in either direction. And that's typically how you play these ranges. And that, I mentioned that Bitcoin is surprisingly weak, as the S&P is above previous trading ranges, as well as Ethereum. So it's very interesting to also see that in comparison to other trades as well. Bitcoin might not even be the best asset to be trading right now, given the lack of volatility and the lack of strength compared to other, similar risk assets.
All right, there it is. Thank you for explaining that. I do want to go look at some stuff before we head out. We did do our Trade the Chain members AMA today. It's members only. When we do it on Wednesdays, we brought in Josh from the Tie, who's one of our data partners, who had some really good points to kind of go over with everybody, and that was great. We will be posting that to the Trade the Chain YouTube channel shortly. So for anybody who missed it, check it out. That's every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. But I did want to go over and just real quickly look at this. So we've lost some momentum since we started the show. Market cap's down to the 100,000, about 0.25%, and of its profit is it's given back real quick. But the right here, you can see the 1 hour charts are dipping. Pulling up the Bitcoin chart, we're starting to slump a little to what Nick just kind of went through, down to 23,870. Now it's lost its spread to about 3.5% in the last 24 hours. So we'll continue to take a look at this, and hopefully people made a lot of money today. That's always our quest and our goal. And smash the like button on your way out if you could. We'd really appreciate it. And we will see you again tomorrow. Both Nick on the Daily Show, which is midday Eastern time, back on my show at 2 o'clock Eastern time. And if you're not a member, sign up for our free newsletter. Actually, let me put that in the chat. It's actionable, really good stuff. Let me get that for folks. I'm sorry I didn't have that teed up. Here we go. You don't even need to be a member of Trade the Chain. You just come and get some really cool information. All right, I'm putting this in the comments now. Boom, there it is. Absolutely free. Monday, we do our in-depth, actionable crypto market and S&P research. We do our daily recap email Monday through Friday. And then Thursday, we have our curated coin picks that we cover and then monitor and do follow-ups on as well. New ones come out every Thursday. So definitely take a look at it. Absolutely free. Thank you very much, folks. Hang on to your handlebars and keep making money. Have a good day, guys.